Everyone thinks Radiator Springs is just a cozy, peaceful little town in the middle of the desert where Lightning McQueen finally found true friendship, happiness, and a real family. But if you actually take a closer look at the dark, hidden lore of Pixar's Cars franchise, you will quickly realize that the true story behind this forgotten place is absolutely terrifying and deeply unsettling. It completely changes how you view this movie from your childhood days. Pixar animators and writers actually based the entire design of Radiator Springs on a real-life historic Route 66 location that holds a dark, tragic, and completely forgotten history. In our real human world, when the massive interstate highway was built, it bypassed these small local towns completely. They literally lost their entire economy and died out overnight, turning into abandoned ruins. This tragic reality is exactly what inspired the movie creators. The small businesses vanished, and the people packed their bags and left, leaving behind nothing but empty buildings, rusty signs, and silent streets that felt haunted by the past. Pixar captured this eerie, lonely, and abandoned vibe flawlessly in the first movie, showing how a bustling paradise can rot away. But the creative team hid a much darker and deeply disturbing secret in the landscape, something that goes far beyond simple ghost towns on the road. To truly understand the horror hidden in plain sight, you have to carefully analyze the massive, rocky mountain cliffs and canyons that surround the entire valley of Radiator Springs. If you pause the movie and look directly at the geometric shapes of the ridges, you will notice they are not natural rocks at all. Instead, they are modeled perfectly after classic vintage car fenders from the 50s, resembling old chrome bumpers and very heavy body hoods now. Now, let us think very deeply about the exact logic and biology of the Cars universe itself for a quick second. In this alternative world created by Pixar, vehicles are not just mindless machines driven by humans. They are living, breathing sentient characters with complex internal organs, brains, beating hearts, and deep emotional feelings. They feel pain, they age, and they can suffer from horrific fatal accidents. Their bodies are literal steel skeletons. So, if those massive desert mountains surrounding the town are literally shaped like giant mechanical car parts, what does that actually mean for the environment? It means that Radiator Springs was not built in a beautiful, natural canyon created by water erosion over millions of years. It means the entire town was constructed directly inside the horrifying remains of a prehistoric, massive car graveyard where giant older vehicles went to rot completely down. Those giant rocky ridges are actually the fossilized, decaying corpses of ancient, massive vehicles that crashed into the desert canyons millions of years ago during a forgotten era. Their massive metal frames became part of the earth, covered in dust and sandstone over generations. This dark reality means that Mater, Sally, Luigi, and the entire local crew are not just living in an isolated town. They are spending their entire days inside a dynamic cemetery. Think about the sheer weight of that realization for a moment. Every single old building, dusty asphalt road, and bright neon light in Radiator Springs is sitting directly on top of ancient mechanical bones. When Flo serves oil or when Ramon paints a body, they are doing it in a wasteland of the dead. But here is the absolute creepiest and most mysterious part of this entire theory that you must know today. Did Doc Hudson know about this terrifying history? Let us look back at the dark backstory of Doc Hudson himself. He was not just a regular old car, he was the fabulous Hudson Hornet, a legendary 3-time Piston Cup champion and racing icon. However, his glorious career came to a sudden, violent end when he suffered a horrific, metal-crushing crash on the track. The racing world brutally abandoned him immediately after the accident, refusing to help him heal from his deep physical and mental traumas today. Broken, betrayed, and deeply traumatized by the industry he loved, Doc Hudson chose to completely vanish from the public eye. Out of all the beautiful places in the country, he specifically chose to hide himself away in this isolated, dusty town surrounded by mountains of dead cars. Why did he do this? Because after his racing career died, Doc Hudson felt like his old self had completely passed away. He wanted to rot away in a truly dead and silent desert place. He became the legal judge and medical doctor of a literal ghost town built on top of a prehistoric mechanical graveyard, turning his back on the living, modern world forever. He found comfort among the dead because the living racing community had broken his heart into pieces. He wanted a place where the loud engines of the modern racing world could never reach his ears. It was the ultimate sanctuary for a completely broken racing soul who wanted to be forgotten. Pixar's brilliant writers left these deeply disturbing and highly symbolic clues throughout the entire runtime of the first movie, hoping that young children would never notice the grim reality. They masked a story of trauma, death, and decay behind bright colors, funny characters, and catchy country music. But once you realize the truth about the mountain shapes, watching Lightning McQueen drive through the town feels eerie and highly uncomfortable to watch. Every time Lightning McQueen speeds down the main street or drifts around the dirt track with Doc Hudson, he is literally racing through a valley of death, surrounded by the giant metal skeletons of the past. This hidden layer completely changes everything we think we know about the Cars universe and shows how dark the Pixar creative team can get when they are building the deep history of their animated worlds. Nothing is ever as innocent as it looks to us. Let us look closer at another resident of this spooky town. Sally Carrera was a highly successful, high-powered lawyer living in the fast lane of Los Angeles, surrounded by luxury and wealth. Yet, she gave up her entire successful career, her expensive lifestyle, and her fancy city apartment to move to a broken-down, bypass town in the middle of nowhere. Why would a smart, modern Porsche make such a drastic, sudden change? Was she running away from a crime? The movie tells us she wanted to find peace and escape the constant stress of the big city, but could there be a deeper, unmentioned reason hidden between the lines of the script? Think about it carefully. In a world where cars are alive, the city of Los Angeles is a massive, overpopulated jungle where old, broken vehicles are constantly scrapped, melted down, and destroyed to make room for brand new models. It is a very brutal and unforgiving environment. As a defense lawyer, Sally likely spent years defending vehicles that were facing the ultimate corporate death penalty, watching innocent, older cars get sent to the crushing machines by greedy corporations. The psychological toll of witnessing her fellow living machines get completely obliterated for profit must have broken her mind. She fled to Radiator Springs because it was a place where time stood completely still, far away from the crushing machines. By preserving the historic town and fixing up the Old Wheel Well Motel, Sally was not just trying to start a cute tourist business in the desert. She was desperately attempting to build a safe, heavily protected sanctuary for old, vulnerable vehicles who had been abandoned by modern society. She wanted to create a fortress where the corporate monsters of the big cities could never reach them or tear them apart. She wanted to save all her local friends alive. Then we have Tow Mater, the rusty, old breakdown truck who seems completely innocent, silly, and dim-witted on the surface. But have you ever stopped to wonder why Mater is the only tow truck in the entire region? His job is to literally collect, drag, and move broken down, crashed, or completely dead vehicles from the highway. In a town built directly inside a massive car graveyard, Mater's true role becomes the Grim Reaper of the entire Mountain Valley zone. Mater is the one who handles the bodies of the fallen machines, dragging them away into his private salvage yard where he keeps rows of rusty, dead parts stacked up on shelves. He talks to old, non-living parts as if they are still alive, which might be a psychological coping mechanism to deal with the constant trauma of his lonely job. He lives surrounded by ghosts, and his silly personality is just a heavy mask to hide his deep, painful loneliness inside. When Lightning McQueen accidentally destroys the main road and gets trapped in Radiator Springs, he thinks he has stumbled into a simple, annoying speed bump on his way to the glorious Piston Cup Championship race in California. He has no idea that he has actually entered a supernatural purgatory where broken souls go to heal before they face the ultimate truth about their lives. The town tests his character, stripping away his selfish ego completely right out. The entire environment forces McQueen to slow down from his breakneck speed and look at the world around him, teaching him that winning trophies means absolutely nothing if you are completely alone in a wasteland of rust and bones. He learns the value of community from a group of cars that the modern world completely threw away like garbage. Pixar used this dark, graveyard setting to make his emotional transformation look deeply profound and extremely real. So, the next time you sit down to watch Pixar's Cars with your family or friends, pay incredibly close attention to the background details, the haunting mountain shapes, and the heavy dialogue of the characters. What do you think about this crazy theory? Did Doc Hudson choose this specific graveyard town because of its dark secrets, or was it just a total coincidence? Comment your wildest thoughts and theories down below right now. Let me know what you think. Make sure to smash that subscribe button right now for more mind-blowing Pixar secrets, dark theories, and hidden details from your favorite childhood movies. Do not forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends to explode the YouTube algorithm. Also, check out the pinned video in the comment section below to uncover Sterling's darkest lies and hidden corporate secrets about McQueen's final race. Stay tuned for more epic content here.